New year, new habits, new drivers, a new season, and a new voice. With this, a very warm welcome in these cold days to an entirely new season of the Redline Racing community. I'm Sepp Bauer, glad you're with us when we get Season 3 started on this Monday evening event on the track of Spain. So, a totally new season with multiple races per week. Monday, the first day of a week, equals the first race of the new season of the Monday Night League. And this is it. It has finally become January 11th, and we are here for this new season that we will kick off on the track of Barcelona. We should have an entirely full grid. The lobby is filling up. We are right now at 17, so I hope that the last three guys will have a chance to join within the next few minutes. Let's have a quick look about how we race. This is a 18 minutes qualifying followed by a 50% race distance, what should equal, I think, 33 laps. The car performances are equal. Safety car and VSC is on full damage. Dynamic weather that could turn into a topic to watch. Spain usually is a very dry track. We see strict corner cutting and manual race start. A quick look at the assists. We will have a medium traction control, manual gearbox. The pit assist is on, so you do not have to worry when coming into the pits, but the pit release assist is off. That means that you manually have to start after the tire change. So the clock will soon hit 8 PM of UK time. We still have a few minutes left, 2 or 3 minutes, and let's have a short look at the track here. We see the track in Barcelona, the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, that is about 4.6 kilometers of length and features 16 turns. Crucial will be the front left tire. So Barcelona has always been known as a tire destroying track. Chews up slicks like breakfast, and Barcelona is part of the Formula 1 since 1992 and is very common to every team, every driver, even our virtual drivers, because the season tests always take place here in Barcelona. And the lap record is already a new one, so I have to correct the lap record time that is depicted here by the game, because the 118 is outdated. It has been a 1:15.584 from Sir Lewis Hamilton. We got to call him Sir now, in the August 2020 race that has been rescheduled from May to August due to the pandemics. And we have 19 drivers now that are in the lobby, so 19 or 20, that's the big question. Will we be a full grid tonight? There should be one reserve driver, and yeah, we will see a bunch of new drivers, and some of them just swapped over from another race day of the RRC community. Some are entirely new. some of the drivers have changed the cockpit, so I will try to get some information in about the new drivers, new faces, new teams within the next 18 or 20 minutes of qualifying time. And Stringy's our host tonight, spectator like me am, so he will not be driving. And while we are still waiting for the last driver to check in, I will step aside for a moment. The session timer has ticked down and we are officially on our way to Barcelona, to the track. And here we are in the pit lane, so it's 19 drivers. One guy has not made it, but that's okay. 19-man grid is still a good one. And it is a fair weather qualifying, so should not be rainy for these 18 minutes. We wait for the first guy to go out and stay with him for the first out lap. Yeah, the last season's champion Fatih has moved over from his Alpha Tauri to the second Ferrari cockpit. We will have a close eye in this season if he can make it happen again, if he can defend his championship. And I was talking to him just shortly before the first event, and he said, I asked him just about that, about what made him the champion and how he thinks he will defend it, the championship, and he said that he just participated in any race, so he didn't miss anything and acquired the most possible points that way. And he is not sure if he can defend his championship, as there are a lot of new guys and a lot of fast guys coming into the league, and that's just what we want to see: competition and fast racing. So a lot of guys have gone to on an out lap here. For the moment, let's maybe just stay with the Haas of Turam. Let's get some more information in that we will need. Oh, there's the first guy already struggling here on medium tires. So at the moment there are a few guys who want to try to run on mediums. We know the rule that says if you qualify into the top 10, you have to start the race on this very set you have qualified on. If you qualified in P11 or behind, you have the free choice of tire. And Tirach had a problem. He was qualified for going in the wrong direction. Probably he wanted to get back in the right direction, and the game said, oh no, this was too much, and he is out for the moment. While we are here with Thuram in his first hot lap in the first turns combination. This is already the end of Sector 1, a lot of full throttle here. And the Sector 2 is dominated by some medium fast turns, very tactical. Especially here it's very easy to throw away the car is very hard to handle. This blind right-hander here, you have no idea what's coming up. Have to have full trust in your car and the grid. And this is Sector 3 that was rebuilt a few times over the years. This right-hander again, very hard to take, very easy to throw the car away, as it's very light there and unstable. The slowest turns of the track, and the last long right-hander, and his time is a good one, just barely behind Stinson, who posted the first hot lap. And Thuram brought us into P2 for the moment. And Fatih, our champion, over 2 seconds away from the pole. Well, the first lap is more or less just a hot installation lap, if you can say so. So just to get a feel for the car, feel for the track. Still a lot of time left for Fatih and everyone to post competitive times. And Optics in P4 has tried a first hot lap on mediums, likewise to our Extremist, but those times are not really competitive, so they will have to run again on softs later. I'm pretty sure about that. While we are watching Thuram going back to the pits on a very unique lane. Let's jump to someone who is on a hot lap. That is maybe Bills in the Alpha Tauri. One of the new guys into the league. Already in the last sector, and oh, he has thrown the lap away. And immediately returns to the pits, as he knew this will not be a good lap time. Who else is on a hot lap? Let's have a look what Jonathan Cox is doing here in the last sector in the other Ferrari, the teammate of our champion. He's one of those who tries a first hot lap on mediums. And the time is a good one, rather a good one. P3 for Mr. Cox. Around about 7/10 behind the pole setting time from Stinson. Not a bad one. Let's see if he thinks this is good enough to risk a start on mediums, or if he will get back to the pits and try on softs again later. Who else is running on a hot lap? Maybe Tomiko here on softs here in the intermediate sector. Oh no, his time is invalid. The mini-map on the right-hand side is colored red. That means the time is invalid. He corner cut it somewhere or exceeded the track limits somewhere, somehow. There's actually no one on a hot lap right now, just the LH44. What can that be? A Mercedes with LH44. Sir Lewis Hamilton himself. And he's still ruled to be on an out lap here. Yeah, the LH44 finished on P11 in the last season, has changed from the Racing Point, the Mercedes B, so to speak, to the Mercedes A, the real Mercedes. And let's see where he will land after his first hot lap. We see the sector times, but no comparison yet, as he didn't have the time posted earlier. He seemed to me to be a bit cautious here in the intermediate sector. Let's see what that will bring him, where this will bring him, what this will translate into a time. Stinson meanwhile has even backed up his pole time, has improved by almost 3/10, giving him a 1:14.5, and Hamilton has aborted his hot lap. Likewise to the Buffalo Bill, who's running slow here on his medium tires, just getting away from the racing line. That's good and fair qualifying racing behavior. So, who's on a hot lap? Who might be on a real hot lap? Let's have a look what our champion is doing. Fatih, who's ruled in P6. Trying on mediums again, so he thinks there is still some improvement possible on this already used set. And we will be with him and watch what he's able to do. So at the end of Sector 2, where will the time stop for him? No, second behind his formerly posted lap. He has aborted it, letting a McLaren through. Should have been Extremist, I think, who is about to start his second hot lap here. Nope, he doesn't. And he doesn't. Still no time posted yet by Walker, Toonfan, Hamilton and Bills. We are here with the Walker on medium tires. Oh, Toonfan is out for the moment. Toonfan has virtually stepped out of his car. Let's see if he's able to rejoin, or if he will fill the last starting row with Tirach. So what is Walker doing here at the end of Sector 2? He is under 50 seconds. That is rather competitive, I would like to say. The best on mediums thus far is Johnny Cox on P3, but a second behind Stinson. No mistake in the last turn for Walker, and he is in P3. Very close to Jonathan Cox, both on mediums. Walker 9/10 behind Stinson, Cox a whole second behind him. So that is probably the maximum you can expect out of the mediums. Yeah, and let's see what Walker and Cox will do. Will they gamble and stay on this time with the, for the race tactics, definitely better tire? Or will they try to improve on another set of softs? We will see, we will see. They do not have a lot of time, so with 5 minutes left, it's okay. It's right. It's no hectic or panic mode yet, but definitely just one try left, and they will have to decide on it soon. So we still did not see a time from Bills. Here he is, finally running on a soft tire here already in the last sector. Very aggressive through the last chicane. Last turn was okay. Oh, and he's in P3. He is in P3. Last sector didn't look too fast for me, but that's okay. Oh, and Walker has retired. Walker is out of the car, so he said, I am fine with this lap time. I accept maybe being ranked back a few positions, but I will be on the better tire. And Johnny Cox, the other one, is still in the pits, so he's still considering going out again or not. We see Optics and Smithy running on hot laps. Yep, Optics improves himself by 5.5 tenths in the last sector here. Last right hand turn for him. That was good, and he is in P6. Moves up to P6, but not beyond the two guys on mediums. And the other one, Smithy, came back to the pits, aborted his hot lap. So just enough time to get some new tires on his car and get out again. Optics is finished, Walker is finished. Zonopat has just left the pits, is on an outlap. A lot of guys on outlaps now. If you want to try it again, you have to leave your pit lane now. So Stinson, Turam, Bills, Johnny Cox and Benny Boy still in the pits. Super Steve as well. Smithy too. Smithy is done for today. Benny Boy has jumped out now on an outlap. And Johnny Cox still in the pits. Bills in the pits. Turam in the pits. Stinson in the pits. So if they do not go out very soon, they are finished for the qualifying. Bills is ruled on an outlap here, so he's the only one of our front runners who tries to improve again. Johnny Cox has opted to stay on his mediums, likewise to Walker. And still no time from Lewis Hamilton in P18. He's already in sector 3. Let's stay with him for a moment to see where he will finish. He has opted for mediums. So a lot of risk for him here right in the end of the qualifying. And he is in P6. That's not bad. That's not bad. So we have a threesome of medium starters, P4, P5, P6. At least they are ranked there at the moment. And this has changed. Fatih into P3. That's quite a good lap time, but still 3/10 slower than Stinson. What is Bills doing? Bills, the only one of our front runners who is still able to improve himself. He barely does. Half a tenth. That's not enough for anything. Won't get him any further. What will Sector 2 bring for him? Fatih next to him, but not impeding him, and he has invalidated his lap time. The track is red, the lap time is erased, and he is slow. So I think the pole position is given. The pole race is done. Who else is still on a hot lap? Maybe the extremists? No, he is not. Benny Boy just finished in P10 here. Barely improved himself, but didn't move ahead. What does Super Steve do? Super Steve in the last sector. Last right-hander turn for the second Mercedes. And he will stay in P12. So I think we are done for the moment. I think everyone is finished. And congratulations to the first pole position of the new year for Mr. Stinson. So as there is still anyone ruled on a hot lap or something like that, the game is still waiting to end the session, and we end our first qualifying with a CPU crash. The one Mercedes crashing into the rear of the other. Yeah, that's one interesting way to finish the first qualifying. The pole goes to Stinson, second to Ramba. In 3, Fatih, 4 for Bills, 5 Walker, 6 Jonathan Cox, 7 Lewis Hamilton, 8 Optics, 9 Extremist, 10 Benny Boy, 11 Tomiko, P12 for Zonopat, 13 Super Steve, 14 Smithy, 15 Nat Craig, 16 Bro Give Up, please do not give up yet, in 17 Big Macca, 18 Toon Fan, and 19 Tirash, who did not post the time and just told me how his name is meant to be pronounced. Thanks for that. So the weather seems kinda fair and sunny weather, so will be a rather hot race. The drivers have a half a minute roundabout left to change minor things about the setup, and I will be back in just a bit. The session timer has started, now has ticked down, and here we are in our starting grid. We will see a installation lab. From my commentator's perspective, I'm always very happy and glad about having an installation lab. Gives me a bit of time to get everything sorted out and all the information in that we need. Let's have a first look about the tires that are used. We know about this threesome, Walker, Johnny Cox and Hamilton, who do have to start on mediums from P5, 6 and 7, but that's an advantage for the overall strategy, a disadvantage on the start, I would like to suppose, because all the guys on softs around them will definitely have a better traction when starting the race. If you have a look at P11 and beyond, really everyone have opted for mediums, so that just backs up the theory that the race strategy will be a probably better one on the medium tire to start. That all will be, of course, decided or changed with the amounts of safety car phases we will have here today. And so let's get in the information about the positions changed for the start. While we see the tire strategy presented by Amazon Web Services, this is definitely wrong. We will for sure not see a 3-stop strategy if the safety car shouldn't shuffle things. I suppose everyone will try to go through on a 1-stop, especially those starting on mediums, medium to hards, and let's see what the soft starters will be forced to do with the second or third stint maybe of tires. So the lights are on and the season has started. The season 3 is on. Good start from Alfa Romeo right here. Everyone comes away rather cleanly. Let's see what turn 1 will bring us here. And we've seen a Haas braking very cautiously, and a collision in the background. A collision in the background. This is Johnny Cox, and some whole front wing has been flying off, and we see the first safety car. The first safety car, the first penalties. Let's have a look who of the guys is damaged. We see Toon Fan who's out totally, and T-Rush with some damage. Probably the Williams ahead, I think, does not have a damage. Who's this? Nat Craig with damage. This Renault damage. So a lot of new front wings we will see here in a moment in the pit lane. There's a Mercedes running with totally non-front wing. Got to be super steep. Let's stay with him for a moment. Yes, totally lost front wing. Probably that was the one we saw flying through the TV screen very awkwardly. Don't see that very often, to have a front wing in one piece flying off. So a lot of pit stops now. Stinson is in. Stinson, our leader. Where is he? There he is. Stinson from red to yellow tires. Who else? Sonopart, no. Bills. Fatih. Big Maka. Served the first penalty here already. Nat Craig has to wait. Oh, that is evil. That is evil. Has to wait behind a teammate who needs a new front wing, who needs to serve a penalty. So that was really, really long for him now. Will be in the last position. Benny Boy was in Super Steve was in, Johnny Cox was in. And let's get some things sorted out while Johnny Cox will need a new front wing right again. Oh ho ho. He has been accelerating and lost the car. His set of hearts is used and gone. Then he will be in last position afterwards. Let's get some things sorted out for the moment while we see the field behind the safety car here. So Walker, the big winner from the starting phase, +4 from the start, backed up by the fact of a few pit stops too, of course. The extremists jumping ahead by 7 positions into P2. Hamilton and Optics each have a +4, while Thuram was the big loser from the starting phase, at least in the front rows. Let's have a look at the tires from the front runners. We see Walker and Hamilton on mediums. Those two guys are right now the drivers with the biggest chance for a race win, I would like to say. Early prediction. Then Optics on soft, and then a lot of guys very early on mediums, either from the start or right after the start from the first pit stop. Stinson, the pole setter, in P10 on fresh mediums. That is actually just like if he would have started on mediums. But he's in the midfield now, of course. Likewise to Bills and Fatih. Super Steve, even though he had this front wing issue, has dropped only to P13, so bit of damage limitation there for him. And Johnny Cox now in last position, just as predicted. And whereas one Ferrari, and that's Johnny Cox, and the Haas from Thuram that are further behind. Let's see if the game will call the safety car in already this lap, or if we still see one more lap with Bernd Mailänder being the leader. No, safety car is in this lap. So in the last sector it is Walker dictating the pace. He's still warming up his tires, and to some unpredictable moment he will pick up the pace and try to run away from everyone, try to run away from Extremist, shake him off. And oh, penalty for Hamilton for a collision behind the safety car. So Walker has picked up the pace. Here we go, and we are back to green. He has shaken off Extremist a little bit, at least far enough so that he cannot attack him. And in the background, no attack here, just a friendly reminder that the bro is behind Smithy, and there's the next problem. Was a McLaren, that was Optics, lost his car, and another one behind him. That's Bills. Oh no, Bills, who was in a good position, who was in right behind Stinson on P10 or 11. He was in a good strategy position and threw it away. Will need a new front wing and will stay in last position then. And what do our front runners from the start do? Stinson, very aggressive here against Smithy, attacking on the outside. This will not work yet. He was on the wide lane here. Do not do this too often. And Smithy has lost his car and crashed into Fatih there. But no damage, I think. Didn't see any winglet fly off from any of these cars. Oh yeah, it did. Smithy needs a new nose. One of the places I mentioned in the qualifying where it's very easy to lose your car, and we see the next attack in this foursome fighting group here. So Tirash lost the position, Stinson is making his way through the field and is very aggressive here on Bro, and on the inside has got him very easily. This looked really easy. Bit of a lock tire here for Stinson. We see some yellow in sector 2, that's right here, but has vanished already. The Bro does have some problems here. T-Rush attacking him here in the blindside right-hander. No position change yet. Now the attack on the inside at the beginning of sector 3. Don't crash into you guys. And Fatih is close too, so this is the threesome fighting group that is left after Stinson already crawled away a lot. Stinson is already over 2 seconds away from Bro. Tirash with some acceleration problems here, that's the medium traction control kicking in. No DRS yet, DRS will be activated in this lap, but Fatih doesn't even need DRS and got the position of Tirash and is now behind Bro. And Fatih needs to get away from Bro fast. He cannot allow Stinson to crawl away even further, and here's the battle for P2, and this is a dangerous place. You cannot go wheel to wheel in these turns. Ooh, an extremist lost the car. Just as I mentioned, you cannot go wheel to wheel, and extremist has lost it, has probably lost the front wing. He is in deep troubles here. Front wing damage, probably heated tires, meaning zero grip for him. Ooh, after a good position, he has thrown it away a bit, and the next crash, just the next crash. Sonopat did not expect Extremist be so slow and crash into his rear. What is going on here? Big group here with some trouble, guys. Extremist and Sonopat having troubles. Ned Craig already beyond the first. Sonopat into the pits. And let's stay with those two guys for a moment. Let's see which tires they will run afterwards. Sonopat in the Williams and Extremist here in the pit lane, right next to his pit crew, and has opted for mediums. Sonopat, where is he? There he is. On hards, will try to go through the race, I'd like to assume, but this is really long from this point of time. And all this battle action has brought Hamilton and Stinson onto the podium. So after his early stop and dropping back to P10, Stinson is here now in P3, 2 seconds behind Hamilton and around about 7 seconds behind Walker, but has posted the new fastest lap of the race. So Stinson on his mediums, the fastest driver here at the moment. His mediums are 2 laps younger than the others. That's not a big factor, a bit off, but not the biggest. And now Optics is into the pits, so the last guy running on softs has shaken them off here in lap 8. So, where's some action going on? Benny in some dangerous spot here. Again, this situation, this turn where you cannot go wheel to wheel, and Benny versus the Bro, filmed to us from the angle of Turam, and now maybe Turam in attacking mode here. No, oh not yet. Oh, Bro has a problem. Braking problem, and Bro has lost 2 positions at once. 2 turns, 2 positions lost for the Bro. And Stinson has been crawling up to Hamilton, has closed the gap of 2 seconds within the last 2 laps, and is in the DRS window here. So Stinson really the fastest driver right now, with a bit of a lock tire here on his front left. The front left is the crucial one on this track, with the many long right-hander turns, one of them coming up right here. And the RS sector, the RS zone here, just showing himself. He will wait for the long DRS zone on the main straight. We've seen yellow in sector 1, that was Extremist, I think, who had a problem there. We will stay with Stinson for the moment. And Tomiko is out. Tomiko is out. That is big. And Stinson already overtakes him here, already at the beginning of the long straight, and can pull away with the RS rather easily. Giving him P2. He is chasing the field after his early pit stop and doing it in style, with 6.2 seconds behind Walker. He is still in the discussion for the race winner, while our reigning champion Fatih is in P4. That's not bad, but he is not able to close the gap to the podium. He is matching the pace of the others, but not better than his rivals for the podium. And there is maybe an attack coming up from Thuram. We are back in our midfield fighting group. He is chasing Benny Boy here. Will be able to attack him with the RS on the long main straight, if he can stay that close in the last few turns. Yeah, well, that's okay. That can work. Here he zooms close to him, attacking here on the inside line, and this has worked. Good maneuver from Thuram, and Benny Boy has to watch the rear of the Haas. Maybe he can stay close and get in some counter attack on him soon. And very silently, Tirash has crawled up to P5. The one who started in the last grid row is now in P5. But he might be caught from these guys here, from Benny Boy and Thuram. Benny Boy, by the way, is not in the DRS window, so Thuram did not even overtake him. He crawled away far enough that Benny was out of the 1 second window. And Thuram, just as expected, is very close to Tirash here, and will attack him on the main straight, will overtake him even on the very beginning of the straight. Here we go. Thuram in P5. There's some midfield battle in the DRS zone. Johnny Cox getting back one of the many positions he lost against Big Macca with DRS not a big problem, of course, even though he is on the slower white tire. There is actually no one in the DRS window of the guy ahead except Johnny Cox. So right after overtaking Big Macca, he is already close to Super Steve, who committed a mistake and just gives away his P10. Super Steve now in P11, but Big Macca too far away to put pressure on him. Big Macca too far away to exploit his mistake. And I always have one eye on the gap from Stinson, so Stinson is now 5 seconds behind Walker. So he was flying through the field against others, but he is coming closer to Walker, but not as fast as he was running over or through the other drivers earlier. So this could develop into a battle towards the end of the race if there isn't another safety car. We see some yellow in sector 2. There's a yellow car, slow yellow, or Renault or McLaren. Didn't see anyone drop a position, so vanished already. Let's have a look what's going on here. Our fighting for P5, 6 and 7 is up again. This is Benny Boy in the DRS window, but probably too far away from T-Rush. Let's see if he can get close enough at the end of the straight. T-Rush defending himself inside, and T-Rush was able to keep his P6 for the moment. So we see the first pit stop from Bro Give Up. We see a lot of pit stops now. I was just wondering when the medium tire would come to an end, the lifetime of the medium tire. I expected it not to be longer than maybe lap 15, and those drivers pitted in P10 or 11 on their mediums. Our front runners on lap 14, 12, 14 of their each mediums. And T-Rush is battling with his car. He's fighting. He is on the limit here in the last sector, being haunted by Benny Boy. This time it should look a little bit better for Benny Boy. No, he's too far away. He seems too far away here on the main straight. Will come close to T-Rush, but not next to him. Yep. No attack this time. And Johnny Cox got one or two positions back due to a pit stop from Nat Craig. And Bill's attacking optics. Wheel to wheel, no wheel to wheel. Bill's got him when braking a little bit later for turn 1. And optics on the, in theory, better tire. Medium is faster than hards. And oh, there was a crash from Big Macca. Big Macca is out. We see a virtual safety car. And a few guys jumped into the pits right when the VSC came out. Fatih, Hamilton and Walker did so. Ooh, unsafe release from the Ferrari pit crew. Luckily we don't have that in virtual worlds. So Hamilton will stay in front barely of Fatih, just barely. Hamilton opted for the hard tire. He will go through on this set. And Fatih on mediums. Fatih will have to stop again. So we are back to green now. And I sadly missed how or why the Alfa Romeos switched positions. Walker was in the pits. Stinson did not stop. That gave him the lead, but he should stop soon, I would like to say. Not yet. Not yet. Stinson, after his crawling up the field, is in the lead now because he did not stop. Walker did, Hamilton did, Fatih did, Thuram did. Thuram, Hamilton, Walker will go through on their hards. Fatih cannot. And Stinson, now the interval gap is correct. Stinson is ahead by 12.7 seconds. There was a mistake from the game before the lap. That's why I was somehow irritated. And 12.7 seconds, of course, is not enough for a pit stop. Pit stop delta in Spain is somewhere 25 to 27 seconds. So he will probably drop behind Hamilton. Let's see what Stinson will do. Will he stay out one more lap or will he pit here? He's increasing the gap on Hamilton but not on Walker. Oh, he comes into the pits. If he opts for hards, this will be the final pit stop of IRF Stinson in this race. We'll have to go through half the distance on the hards. Yes, hard tires for him. Walker, his teammate, already through. Let's see what will happen against Hamilton. And Stinson will stay ahead. Stinson will stay ahead of Hamilton, who is in battle against Fatih. Fatih is pressuring him. Fatih needs to pressure him. Fatih has the faster tire, but needs to stop again. I mentioned it. So Fatih needs to make his his medium tires work against Hamilton. And in the lead, Walker's back again. And due to the fact he was able to pit under VSC, he increased his gap by around about 3 seconds. So, that's right, the 3 seconds that he has as penalty on his account. So, in case there is no second safety car at the end of the race, Walker just needs to stay in front of Stinson by 3 or more seconds and he will be the race leader. So at the moment it seems like the race win will be given to an Alfa Romeo, and let's see which one it will be. It seems like Fatih is faster than Hamilton, but just cannot convert it into an overtake maneuver. Every time when the DRS zone is coming up, the Mercedes seems to be able to pull away just barely enough to defend himself. That could be an indicator that Hamilton has a bit more downforce so that he can be a bit faster in the turns and pull away just barely enough to always sneak away. Or that Hamilton has still more of ERS power left in his battery and can deploy a lot more extra energy for maximum speed. Oh, this time it should work. This time Fatih is close. 4/10. The rear wing is split. He will zoom closer to Hamilton, but no attack again. The Mercedes is fast on the straights, fast enough to stay ahead in every lap. That is very frustrating for our champion here, who is ruining his tires that he still has to change once more, and then he will be dropping down at least 2, maybe even 3 positions. Sonopat's getting lapped here. He's a ghost, still a bit disturbing for the driver. Next DRS zone is right here, but it's a rather short one, so no possibility to attack here. Let's stay with Fatih for one more straight. Hamilton, a little bit of a mistake right in this vicious turn 12, where the car is so light and easily to be lost. Hamilton struggling here again a bit on the exit of these turns. This time it should work. Fatih is a lot closer now. The DRS is opened. Hamilton to attack himself, and Fatih finally got him. Finally he pulled ahead. Luckily we were staying with him, and now he has run about 10 laps time, maximally 10 laps, to pull away to get the best out of his medium tires, and then he will stop for softs again for a short final sprint, I would like to assume. But he cannot pull away from Hamilton here. Hamilton still within half a second, still inside the DRS window, so maybe the counter-attack is about to come just on the next long straight. Additionally, Fatih has a +3 seconds penalty. Hamilton does not, so this will go into the direction of Hamilton as an advantage. And no, he's too far away now. In the last sector, the technical sector with the slow turns, Fatih made his mediums work the best and now has pulled away from the Mercedes, and I would say he's rather safe in P3 for the moment, and he will pray to Enzo or Endino Ferrari and all the Formula 1 gods for another safety car phase, so that he will not lose that much of time when he finally has to stop again. So actually we can rather easily stay with these two guys, because Hamilton is the only one in the pit stop, in the DRS window of the guy ahead. So no directly racing action going on anywhere else. You can see the gap, the interval gap. If it's above a second, you are not allowed to activate DRS in the DRS zone. Extremist has now entered the DRS window against Ned Craig. Maybe let's jump to him for a moment. There he is in the orange-blue McLaren. Here at the end of Sector 1, beginning of Sector 2. Ned Craig is struggling on his hards. Should be an easy prey for Extremists. There it was. Didn't even defend himself. Extremists just jumping ahead. And yeah, the next one is far away. That's the Bro give up. 77, 12.6 seconds away from him. So the next time he can overtake will take a while, because this Alfa Romeo ahead is no one to overtake. This Alfa Romeo ahead is one of the guys leading who just lapped the extremist. Meanwhile, Fatih has pulled away from Hamilton, is now away over a second, so no DRS window, no DRS activation for Hamilton possible anymore. And Stinson, who has meanwhile picked up a penalty. Hamilton has left the session. Let's have a look at him really quick. He is ghosted. That means he probably has some internet connection issues. So the CPU will overtake his car for a moment. We hope that he will be able to come back soon. His position, I would say, is rather safe, so he was losing on gap against Fatih anyway. Thuram behind him is 14.5 seconds away still, so he should have a moment to come back, reconnect his PlayStation maybe, and here we go again. I cross my fingers that you can be back soon. Yeah, I wanted to say that Stinson has picked up some penalties now too. Let's have a short look about the penalties as we enter the final third of our race. We see +3 on both our top runners, so the penalties are equal. Stinson needs to make it happen somehow else if he wants to win the race. Fatih then has a +6, so Hamilton, who is ghosted, is unable to return right now, but Fatih still needs to pit once, so he will serve one of the 3 seconds with his next pit stop. And a bunch of +3s in the midfield: Johnny Cox, Bill, Spenny Boy, Bro Give Up, Extremist, Nut Craig, Super Steve, Optics, Smithy, and Sotson Pat. All of them have +3. No, got to correct myself. Super Steve has a +12. Wow. So we see the Extremist being ghosted too. In this time, this is not about connection issues, this is about being lapped. An Alfa Romeo lapping a McLaren. Only happens in virtual worlds too, at least at the moment. Let's see how that will be as soon as it is March and we will see the next real life Formula 1 races. And the big question right now is, when will Fatih stop? Bills, meanwhile, in the pits, who has been on softs for a very long time. Likewise to Johnny Cox. They are close to each other, P7 and 8. We'll drop a place or two here now. Tirash back in P8. Yeah, the big question, when will Fatih stop and how many positions will he lose? I think he should do so very soon. He has a +6 and I doubt that he will be able to make his tires last for the end of the race, and as he already needs to stop anyway, he should do it to a time when he still can make his softs work then. So if he has to stop for just the last 2 laps maybe or something, he cannot get his softs working in a good way or in a long way. We have now 6 laps plus the rest of this to go, so his mediums would be 17 laps old then. and we have not seen any driver going 17 laps on one set of mediums in this race. So the longest I have seen was 20 laps on hards, but not on not on mediums. I think the longest stint on mediums from any driver was 14 laps. And Tirash in the pits. Tirash stopping for fresh softs. We see 3 drivers on fresh softs now, while Fatih did not stop again. Oh, and Stinson is one of them who stopped. Interesting. I did not see that one coming. Stinson comes out of the pits still in P3. And will be probably the fastest driver now, will make his softs work and post a bunch of hot laps now. Fatih in P2, Johnny Cox the first one on softs with the next fastest lap, so we will see a bit of a race between them for the fastest lap. Bills has just countered that. And some racing action at the end of the race in the late stages, as Johnny Cox on his fresh softs has pushed ahead and closed the gap to Benny Boy. And I would like to say he will rather easily be able to overtake him on his fresh and hot soft tires. Maybe not here, the IS zone, but just short straight to get closer. Now he all needs to do is to stay as close as possible in the last sector and then just cruise by him on the long main straight. Yep, he does not attack him here, does not give away the DRS activation that comes up here. DRS window, DRS wing is opened. Attack, that will work easily for Johnny Cox, giving him P6. So that's probably the best to achieve for him. Hamilton is 6.5 seconds away. But he is ghosted, so he has just posted a short message in the group chat. He will probably not return for the remainder of the race. Let's see if the CPU will finish him ahead of Cox or not. Cox on his fresh softs flying towards him. Already 3.5 seconds only the gap anymore. Yep, Johnny Cox is flying ahead. Johnny Cox will overtake Hamilton, I think, in the next lap. So Cox will be in P5 then, very likely. So he's already in the DRS window here. And as Hamilton is ghosted, he can just drive through him. Easy as possible overtake. And he is in P5. I repeat my sentence from just a lap ago. That will be the maximum for him to achieve. Thuram is 21 seconds ahead, so this will not be possible again. We see the next attack from those running on soft. Tirash ahead of Bro, and the ghosted Hamilton lost another position to Benny Boy. So the not giving up row is still close to Tirash, but Tirash on his fresh softs should sneak away easily against the 15 laps old hards from the bro. And now Bills is close to the ghosted Hamilton. He will probably just drive through him just as easily as Benny Boy did a lap ago. There it is. And Hamilton is ghosted down to P8. But the next one, Extremis, 24 seconds away, so this should be the damage limitation now in P8 for Hamilton. Yeah, and as we are very close to the end of the race, let's have a look at our top trio and the penalties they carry with them. And Walker is safe with his +3, but 18 seconds of gap. But then, IRF Stinson on his fresh soft was able to get closer to Fatih, close enough to be ruled in second in the end due to the +6 seconds penalty of Fatih. So Stinson doesn't even have to overtake him, just needs to stay out of troubles to not pick up another penalty and then cruise his way home, and he will be granted the second position. Let's see if he will do that or if he will try to make it happen on the track. Well, at least not now, he's still too far away. And we are officially in the last lap of the race. Stinson is close at the end of the long straight, but not close enough. But as mentioned, he just needs to stay right in the position he is, and he will be granted the second position. And there is Walker, who has had a really good race, stayed out of trouble, just driving it home, taking the right decisions to the right time, staying away of troubles. And speaking about troubles, a late penalty for Stinson, and now he will not automatically be given the position. He needs to overtake Fatih now. And wheel to wheel, and he did it. Wow, what a strange end of the race. And this is the race win for Walker, very easily done, without any competition. He has won in front of his teammates. Stinson, congratulations for P2, and the reigning champion finishes in P3, at least at the on the podium in the first race for Fatih. After a difficult race for Fatih, he got the best out of it, I would like to say. Turam will finish in P4, one of the few guys who did not pick up a penalty. Congratulations to that too. Then Johnny Cox, who was in the very back of the field after some starting collision, made it at least up to P5. Congratulations to you. Same goes to Benny, who will finish in P6, just ahead of Bills in P7, and the ghosted Hamilton finishes in P8. So driver of the day is ruled Tirash, who started in the very end of the grid, last starting row, and still crawled up a lot of places. And this is victory, double victory, P1 and P2 for Alfa Romeo, and they truly deserve the champagne. So this is the final result after penalties. Walker has won the race in front of his teammate Stinson. Then Fatih, Tudor in 4, Johnny Cox 5, Benny Boy in 6, Bill 7, 8 goes to the ghosted Hamilton, P9 Extremist, 10 Bro, P11 T-Rush, P12 for Optics, P13 Ned Craig, P14 Super Steve, P15 Smithy, P16 Zonopat, P17 Big Maka, P18 Tomiko, and Toonfan sadly did not finish the race. So this is it. This has been our first race of the new season. Next week we will continue on Monday evening, same time. So the event officially starts at 8 PM UK time. The stream goes online roundabout at 7:50. And the next race then will be in Singapore. So totally different track, very difficult track, a lot of walls, very close. Should be, at least usually is, very chaotic in online races. Thanks for being with us. Was a very cool start of the season. And until we see us again next Monday, have a good evening, stay safe in these times, and keep racing.